Make sure I got my page right for this wisdom I'm about to drop on y'all. Hey everybody, this is Teyanna, and you are tuning into an episode of Tea with Tea. And yeah, so this week has been pretty crazy, particularly like the last 48 hours or so. I'm filming this on Saturday, May the 23rd, I believe. Hopefully I can remember the days and dates so that I'm not going crazy in the house. But yeah, today's Saturday. And just a lot of interesting comments and social media posts from celebrities and politicians, and it just making me question a lot of things, which is what this episode is all about. I wanted to dive into two aspects of life really quickly. These two aspects and concepts don't necessarily go hand in hand. I would say that they're on a similar spectrum, but they're definitely on the opposite side from each other. And those two things are gratitude, gratefulness, and the other one is privilege. And as I said before, those things do not go hand in hand with each other. But I feel like when you talk about one, you definitely end up talking about the other. So let me dive into privilege, and kind of somewhat dive into the inspiration behind this episode. Just a lot of people have been making interesting comments on social media and in interviews that really puts on display the sense of privilege that they have in the world and in the various industries that they work in and thrive in. I'll make it a little bit personal about me. So as you guys know, I love the entertainment industry. I'm aspiring and working to make my own mark in the entertainment industry. The cool thing is me and my brother are similar. We both have aspirations in the entertainment industry. But the interesting thing that we like to do is every now and then we like to, talk to each other and take some time and look at what celebrities are doing, and just like, I guess you could say, kind of analyze their celebrity and like what moves they're making, and like whether or not like they're making the right decisions about things, and saying the right things. And I guess you could say this weekend and the days leading up to the weekend has definitely been like celebrity 101 a little bit on what not to do, because I feel like a lot of people have made a lot of comments that really put on display their privilege, for the most part white privilege, and really kind of showing what they think they're entitled to, and those things that they think that they are entitled to, they are definitely not entitled to. And it just really kind of confuses me a lot. I'll make it even more personal, and I'll say this. For me, as a black woman in America, I consider myself to be privileged at times, because for me personally, I have a lot of opportunities that a lot of other black women in America do not have. I'm blessed enough to be in the, opportunities and privileges that I have. I definitely have a lot of, doors open for me that aren't necessarily open for a lot of other people. I come from a very, good family. We do well for ourselves, and, we have each other's backs. And I definitely feel like if it wasn't for my family and the hard work that they put in, I definitely want to be in the places that I'm in now. And I feel like I'm very blessed to have that, perspective about things. Because I feel like if I didn't, I would go around, probably making dumb comments like some of these celebrities are doing now. And, I just feel like it's very important to have a healthy perspective on things and to recognize the privilege that you have. I like to think of things in this way. There are two types of people in terms of privilege. You have people who recognize their privilege and do what they can to help those who are less privileged than them and don't have the necessary resources that they have. And then there are people who have no clue whatsoever what privilege is or the fact that they have it. And I feel like those types of people are extremely, extremely. I'll say dangerous. I'll say that they're a little dangerous to society and the advancement of society, because if you don't realize the fact that you are given access to things simply because of other people's work, or even what you look like and your name, then you're not helping the other people who are on the other side of that spectrum, who are on the other side of that spectrum, and it for me personally, having that perspective on my privilege, it definitely provides me with a sense of gratitude. It definitely humbles me, and it just makes me want to work harder so that in the future or even now I can help people find their own voice and find their own place in a society where they feel like they can never have such things. But I wanted to quickly mention something really quickly. In one of her books entitled Letter to My Daughter, I mentioned this book, I think the first episode of Tea with Tea. This awesome book by Maya Angelou, The Legend. I believe this is the second chapter of the book. It's entitled Philanthropy. God, I can't speak. Philanthropy. Here's a few sentences from that chapter. The word philanthropy was taken from the two Greek words, philo, lover of, and anthro, mankind. So philanthropists are lovers of humanity. And then later on in the chapter, at the very end, she mentions, I may never be known as a philanthropist, but I certainly am a lover of mankind. And I will and I will give freely of my resources. I am happy to describe myself as charitable. Words from a legend. So I wanted to mention that because I feel like people who are privileged and don't recognize that they are privileged or choose not to do anything about their privilege, they're not true lovers of their fellow man or of mankind in itself. Because as I said before, if you don't recognize that you have this privilege, or if you recognize that you do have this privilege and you don't do anything about it, what are you doing for society? How are you breaking those barriers and those rules that were put in place, but as we see, don't really help society as a whole, particularly, the particularly people of color, women, non-binary, all those people who don't have the same opportunities as other people. How are we supposed to get everybody to the same level to where everybody can have the same, well, not necessarily the same experiences, but they can have access to the same, doors and the same opportunities. They have a wider range of life and what life can be, and what life can mean. And, I I feel like it's extremely, extremely important to take the time to just step out of yourself, which I feel a lot of people do not do. You don't have to do it on a daily basis, but I feel like if you do it on a consistent basis, then it definitely, reshapes your perspective and reshapes the meaning behind life and your life and other people's lives. For me personally, taking a step back, recognizing that, oh, excuse me, everything is not about me, and that I am extremely blessed, and that not everyone in this world has the same opportunities as me. Not everyone was taught the same things as me. Not everyone was taught, the same beliefs that I have. Whether or not that puts me at a disadvantage or an advantage, you know, everyone is different. Everyone is going through different things, And I feel like we as a society are not going to get anywhere if we don't just take a moment and just recognize what exactly we're doing and what exactly we're saying. And also just checking ourselves and proofreading our social media posts before we post them, so that we know exactly what it is that we're saying. But then again, the interesting thing about it is some people will probably say the same exact thing and not feel any remorse about it because they choose not to take a step back and, just examine your life. Examine where you are in society and realize that, hey, you might not necessarily be where you are or where you want to be, but where you are is a dream or an aspiration to someone else. Where you are is where someone else wants to be. And if you just take a minute to just recognize how blessed you are, I feel like the world would just be a better place. And then once you go back into that, once you go back into your space, do what needs to be done in order to, lift other people up, help other people get to where they want to go. And then the funny thing about it is, you helping someone else get to where they want to go, it will help you get to where you want to go. It'll take you to higher places. Those doors that you think won't open will open because you've helped someone else. But I guess that's just my 2 cents. But yeah, that's today's episode. Just wanted to talk about, privilege and gratitude in a way that I feel like we don't really talk about it that much. But yeah, continue to stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed. When you can, please, please, please stay inside. I know a lot of restrictions are being lifted. Personally, I don't think it's safe. Not yet. I mean, and I know how frustrating it is. Like, I was literally talking to my mom, like, when's the next time we gonna have, like, a cookout or some crap? Like, man, I just miss going outside. But I also don't want to see any more people be sick and get killed. So, please, 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 when you can, stay home. Please. We're not getting through this thing just yet, but we are getting there. But we're not there yet. So please continue to, stay healthy and do what is best. To all the essential workers and nurses and the doctors, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for everything that you do. You will go down in history as heroes. You already are heroes. So we thank you. But yeah, this has been Teyanna with another episode of Tea with Tea. But yeah, peace.